Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you guys my Black Sabbath record collection. Last time I did one of these kind of videos, I showed you my Iron Maiden collection and you guys voted for Black Sabbath as the next one. It includes some rarities that I know you're going to love, so stick around. I'm also going to be showing you some Black Sabbath related albums from the likes of Aussie Osborne and Dio. If you do enjoy this video, please do leave a like and subscribe. Which band do you want to see next? Leave it in the comments and I'll get around to doing it. Now, often cited as the pioneers of heavy metal, Black Sabbath. They are a true key part of my collection. Every time I see one for a decent price, I always like to pick it up. Now, first up is Black Sabbath's first album entitled Black Sabbath. This was one of my very first Black Sabbath records. It is on the Vertigo Swell label, and it's also one of the most expensive albums that I've bought. It does come with the original inner sleeve, and I'd say in general, it's probably VG+. I just absolutely love Vertigo Swell, if you didn't already know that from our videos. I bought this at the Southend Record Fair in 2021. I think it was like maybe December 2021, and I paid £65 for it. I'm not sure whether that's still a good price anymore, but given the condition, I think it's probably pretty good. Features the likes of Black Sabbath, NIB, and The Wizard. What great tracks. And the first of many amazing albums from the band. Next up is the album Paranoid, of which I actually have 4 different copies of. Now, I know you might be saying, if you're not a record collector, why do you need more than one copy? And why don't you just get it all on Spotify? To me, record collecting is about the collecting and having the physical items, and I find treasure hunting and crate digging and finding this stuff is really fun. That's why I do it. Let's start off with the NEMS reissue that we have at the front here. I bought this at a record fair in Witham for £5. Now, the condition isn't amazing. It is VG+ on the inside, but on the cover, as you can see, it's a little bit tatty. Got some ring wear, and just in general, the sleeve's not so great, but £5 for an early Black Sabbath pressing. Now, need I say more? Paranoid is one of the key albums for Black Sabbath, probably the most famous album, including songs like Paranoid and Iron Man. Is a label there from the NEMS copy, first of all. Now, this NEMS copy is actually different from the second one that I'm going to show you. As you can see on this next NEMS copy, on this one, it has some writing at the bottom here to do with NEMS, and the other one doesn't. The other major thing is, the other one is gatefold, whereas this one is not, as you can see there. Again, same kind of condition, VG+, and probably good, maybe not even that. It's quite tatty, but again, I paid £5 for this one too. As you can see, it was £7 on the label, got it for £5. This was at a Southend Record Fair back in April 2022, so very happy with that one. And the last two are Vertigo Swell issues of Paranoid. Now, they are both slightly different. One came out in 1970 and one came out in 1971, but they're still both on the Swell. Now, as you can see on this one, the first one, I'm going to take it out of this protective sleeve to show you the gatefold. This is also what's on the NEMS issue of the gatefold. And on this particular pressing of the Swell, we have got the Swell inner. The label here has Vertigo in big letters along the bottom, and notice the label in general where all the lettering is placed. Remember that for when I show you the next one. Now, this one's actually in pretty good condition. I got this for £44 from eBay back in sometime in 2021. I don't buy from eBay anymore. I like to crate dig. I like to find stuff at fairs and shops. It's just more fun for me than buying things on eBay. And as I pull out this other one, you will see that the label is different. The Vertigo lettering is actually at the top this time. The Swell is smaller as it has to fit in that Vertigo lettering. This one is the slightly later one out of the two, whereas that one that I put down is the earlier one from 1970. For this one, I paid £30 at a record fair in Chelmsford, sometime in summer 2022. Now, the condition isn't amazing, hence why £30, and the inner sleeve is kind of falling apart a little bit, very tatty, but it's still complete, and £30 for a Swell, Black Sabbath Swell, it's not too bad. Next up is my only copy of Black Sabbath's Master of Reality, and it is on Swell. I'm just going to take it out the protective sleeve and show you that this is a box set kind of vinyl, and this is how they've always come as an original issue. They have a flap at the top where you can open up and get the vinyl out. Now, I never actually get this one out because the more you open it, the more it's going to damage. I know vinyl's supposed to be played, but I'm more of a collector than a player. It's got the infamous swirl logo at the top here, if you can see that. As we open it up very carefully, we find that it does have a Vertigo inner, but it's slightly different than the other ones. It's actually got a black outline, as you can see. And side B of the swirl label is actually black this time instead of white. Now, as you guys may probably know, this is supposed to come with a poster, and those go for a hell of a lot of money. This one does not have the poster, I'm afraid, but I did pay £45 for it at a shop called Adrian's in Wickford, which is sadly closing down very soon, if it hasn't already. The vinyl is probably good plus. There's nothing deep there, it's just surface scratches, but I'm quite happy with the box and the sleeve. I think I purchased this sometime early 2023. Some really great songs on there, like Children of the Grave and Sweet Leaf, just really groovy stuff. Next up, we have Volume 4. Two of them. Both of these are on the Swirl label. Now, these are both very, very similar but different presses, and I will show you why. Let's go with the first one. If we take it out of this, you'll see that it's not the best. It's a little bit dirty, and the sleeve has got quite a lot of wear in general, especially over the front here. We have a very nice gatefold image here. It's actually a little booklet. As you can see, most of these don't have the booklets. They've been ripped out or they're damaged, but this one does, as you can see there. Pulling it out, it has got the swirl inner sleeve, and you'll notice that the main difference on this one is that it has not got Made in England on the label, whereas the other one will, and I'll show you that in a second. This one I got for £38.40. I'm not sure why it's in decimals like that. I got it at a record fair quite a long time ago. Would have been about 2 years ago now, probably early 2022. But yeah, maybe I bought a bunch of stuff and £38.40 was kind of how it worked out. And the other one, if we pull it out of the sleeve, it is in nicer condition. And again, it does have the booklet, which I do not want to bend by accident, which I almost did. It's always nice to find it with the booklet. It definitely adds value, and it's supposed to be like that, you know? It's complete. We pull this one out, it does have the inner sleeve. And as you can see on this one right there, it has Made in England, whereas the other one doesn't. This one I got off eBay for £35.55. This was the first copy that I bought out of the two. This was late 2021. And the condition's not too bad. It's definitely the nicer one out of the two. Now, those were the first 4 albums, and those were the only albums that Black Sabbath released on the Vertigo Swirl label. So now we're past the Vertigo Swirl and on to the next ones. Next up is Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, which I have too. Again, they are both the same, but slightly different pressings. Let's start with the first one. If we take it out the sleeve, the condition really is not so good, unfortunately. If we open up the gatefold, we see the image in there of the band. And on the back, some really nice imagery on this album, I feel like. It has got the original inner sleeve there with the lyrics on there. And opening it up, there's the label there. It's pressed on WWA. Now, the reason why this one is different is because if you have a look at the catalogue number on the label, just above the spindle hole, it says ACB 00166. This is a fan club edition. I got this one from Poppa Dave, the guy that you must have seen in all of our videos before, my granddad. And he gave it to me sometime late 2022. It was one that I was missing from my collection, and he was gracious enough to give me one of his spares, and it happened to be a club edition, which I can't remember whether he knows or not. So Dave, I know you're watching this, the club edition. And the other copy, if we take it out of the sleeve, it's much, much nicer in terms of condition. Unfortunately, if we look there, it has got the spine is splitting there. Same gatefold photo, same back. This one does not come with a special inner sleeve, but if we take it out, you'll see that the label is different. It does not have that catalogue number that was on the previous one. It's just WWA 005, and the layout is very different. This one I got for £12 at the Chelmsford Record Fair. The condition is quite nice. It's definitely better than the other one. It's not amazing, especially the sleeve, but the record is nice, and it is a first UK press. I got that in summer of 2023. My favourite track of them all, you guessed it, Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. Next up is Sabotage. Just the one copy of this one, shock horror, right? This is a NEMS pressing from 1975. Condition-wise, it's not great. As you can see, it's a little bit tatty. It's a little bit flimsy from where it's been used over the years, but that's okay. It's got a nice textured outer sleeve. If we open it up here and take the record out, you'll see that it is on the NEMS Records and Tapes label. This one I paid £10 for from an antique centre called Battlesbridge in Essex. Probably somewhere in January 2023. It's a decent copy and it's the only one in my collection, so I had to have it. Next up, Black Sabbath's Never Say Die. This is a reissue from 1983. And the condition, to be honest, it's not very good, especially down there. You can see it's all ripped. If we open it up here, it's got a priceless inner sleeve, which comes with many of the pictures from all the other releases that these guys did. And then opening it up, it's got the Vertigo label. However, it's got the catalogue number of price 9. The original would not have had price 9. That's price 9 is a cheaper reissue, basically. I got this for £5 at Spitalfields Market. I'm sure you guys have seen so many of our Spitalfields hunting videos. This would have been somewhere in early 2023, probably in January. The record isn't great condition, and neither is the sleeve, but it's the only copy that I have, and it was a £5, so can't really go wrong. Next on our list, we have Live at Last. Again, our condition isn't amazing. It does have a little bit of writing on the B there of Black Sabbath. It's just generally kind of, it's been used, it's been well loved. I paid £8 for this at Battlesbridge in Essex, the antique centre I previously mentioned. I'd probably say it's a good plus condition overall. If you want to have a look at the label there, if it will focus, there we go. I got this again early, January 2023. So a lot of record collecting for me around January 2023, it seems like. I don't know whether you guys get this, but sometimes I'm really feeling in a crate digging mood, and sometimes I might not really feel like buying anything, but I still enjoy it nonetheless. Now, controversially, this is one of my favourite Black Sabbath albums, and it is Heaven and Hell. The reason why I feel like it's so controversial is because it hasn't got Ozzy Osborne in it, it's got Ronnie James Dio. What a great track Heaven and Hell is. And of course, we know that it is Ozzy's band, and Black Sabbath sound is very synonymous with Ozzy's vocals. However, what a great album they produced here. Now, I've paid £8 for this at the Southend Record Fair, and when I saw it, I thought, quick, grab it. I've got to get this one. So as we open it up, it's on the orange and yellow Vertigo label. As you can see, many of the Black Sabbath presses were on this. And it is a UK first press, so £8 is a really solid price. I've seen nice ones of this go for 20, 25, £30. And condition-wise, it's okay. I mean, it's decent condition for £8, definitely. They got this sometime early in January 2022. Next album, next singer. This was Born Again by Black Sabbath. Now, this was the only album of Black Sabbath to feature Ian Gillan from Deep Purple on the vocals, and I love Ian Gillan. I'm a big Ian Gillan fan. He's one of my favourite vocalists, so this is definitely a must-have for my collection. Really cool looking cover. Something they haven't really ever done before was this kind of art. As we open it up, we've got a really cool inner sleeve there, and opening it up, going into the vinyl. Look at that label. How cool is that? They haven't done something like this before, in my opinion, up to this point. Even though it's got a little bit of writing on there, I think the condition of this album's pretty good. Now, I did pay £15 for this one at Battlesbridge Antique Centre in Essex, so I think it's a pretty decent price for an album that I don't have, and seeing as it's a Gillan album, it's something it's a must on my wants list. Now, next up's a really interesting one. This is Black Sabbath featuring Tony Iommi, Seventh Star. Now, this was back when Tony Iommi was the only original founding member of Black Sabbath in the band. It includes Glenn Hughes, Eric Singer, Dave Spitz, Jeff Nichols, and Gordon Copley. So, no names that are synonymous with Black Sabbath, so I suppose that's why he's called it featuring Tony Iommi, because really this isn't Black Sabbath. But you know what? It's not a bad album. It came out in 1986, and as you can see, someone did pay the grand sum of £5 when it did come out. And the condition, honestly, it is near mint. That's a really nice original inner sleeve there, and going into the vinyl on that classic orange and yellow Vertigo label. It's the UK first, so I'm very, very, very happy with this. And I'm even happier considering that technically I paid £1.50 for this one. It was in and amongst an album collection that I paid for, and And there was a lot of junk, like charity shop stuff in there, but if you work it out per record, I paid £1.50 for this. If you work it out on what I got in that, perhaps not as good as £1.50 because I had to pay £1.50 for all that junk, so it kind of evens out, but can't complain. What a really cool album, and I haven't actually seen this one before. So now we're starting to get toward the later end of the 80s here. The next one up is Eternal Idol. This one, the condition isn't amazing. As you can see, there's a lot of general love, and where by love I'm meaning someone has loved this and has played this quite often. But for the price of £25, it's not too bad for this one, considering it's actually not a very common one to come and buy. So there's the inner there, and looking at the label, as you can see again, classic orange and yellow Vertigo label. And yeah, with my Black Sabbath, I want to get every album that they've done in my collection, and I haven't quite got every single one, so that's a must. This one was from the Chelmsford Record Fair, early 2023. Not bad. Now, if you have seen our TikTok or Facebook reels, you probably would have seen this one. We were at Ali Pali Fair in London, and this reel got hundreds and hundreds, almost 1 million views just for this reel. And it is when I bought Black Sabbath's Headless Cross. I paid £50 for this at the Alexandra Palace Fair, and it's really not a bad condition pressing. I've seen ones that are about like this in terms of condition, and they've gone for a lot more. So look at that cover. How cool is that cover? I mean, this album is hugely underrated. Such groovy, cool, heavy riffs. As we go in here, we've got a really cool lyric inner sleeve there, and this one is on IRS in terms of label. The only thing is with this pressing, it's a lovely condition press. It's just that the label, as you can see, kind of folds over here. So for 50 quid, I'd say that's okay, because it's not a cheap album, but one of their good ones in my opinion. And I know that's really controversial considering it's Tony Martin on vocals. Now that's it for my Black Sabbath collection. I want to show you guys my related albums, and the first up is Ozzy Osbourne's Blizzard of Oz. Now, you might have actually seen this in a Spitalfields video that me and Dave did quite a while ago. In that video, if you haven't seen it, I'll leave a link in the description. I paid £15 for this, and I think, as I'm not really a big Ozzy Osbourne fan, this is still a must-have for me, because as you can see at the back, it's got Randy Rhoads, one of the best guitarists of all time, and Lee Kerslake, and Bob Daisley, ex-Uriah Heep. So it's a must-have for me. As we open it up here, it's a nice condition copy. It's got an inner sleeve there, the original one, and it's on Jet Records, which is what a lot of the Ozzy Osbourne stuff was on, especially at the start. So there we go with that one. Now, next up is actually my next two Ozzy Osbourne albums. I got these for £6 each. I bought them at the same place. They were pricing them up at the same time, and I saw £8 in each, and I thought, okay, that's not too bad. And they actually gave me £2 off each of them. So I'm not a big Ozzy fan, but seeing them for £6 each, they're really good condition presses as well. I thought I had to have them. On the first one here, Diary of a Madman. As we open it up, the condition, I'd say there's a little bit of wear, so it's probably not near mint, but it's definitely a good VG Plus one. As we open it up, it's got the original inner there. As you see, a completely different lineup, apart from the guitarist and the singer. And again, on Jet as the label. So got some really good songs on this one. I mean, for £6, you can't really go wrong with classic metal like this. I'll pick it up every day of the week. And for this one here, Bark at the Moon, it's not quite as good condition as the Diary of a Madman, but again, £6, you really cannot go wrong. And it's even got the original insert there, you see? This one's on a slightly different label. This is on Epic. I can't remember whether this is a first press UK one or not, or whether that one was on Jet, but again, £6, you really cannot go wrong. I'm just very happy with these ones, and being a big metal fan, I feel like you've got to have at least the first 3 Ozzy Osbourne albums in your collection. And last but not least for Ozzy Osbourne, we have The Ultimate Sin. This one was from 1986, so it's a completely different lineup. And as you can see, the album art is completely different. We've got J.K. Lee, who replaced obviously Randy Rhoads after his death, and then Phil Soussan on bass and Randy Castillo on the drums. I think that's a really cool cover, not sure about you. And as we go inside here, we've got the original inner sleeve, and look at that. I mean, they look so 80s in that picture, don't you think? It is so cool. And then the album, it's on Epic, again, similar to the last one I showed you guys, but it's a white and blue label this time. Now, I paid £15 for this one at Chelmsford's Record Fair, probably some time in midsummer 2022 for £15. So I think that's an okay price for this one, and considering I haven't got it, that completes my Aussie Osborne stuff. Now, the last related band I want to show you guys pays homage to one of my favourite Black Sabbath albums, and that's Heaven and Hell. The singer on that one was, as you guessed it, Ronnie James Dio. So here's my Dio collection. First up, we've got, what an album. This is Holy Dive. I mean, talk about one of the absolute best metal albums, classic metal albums there's been, and with one of the best covers as well. This one was purchased in a Spitalfields video again, and I paid £15 for it. So to be fair, for a really nice condition one like this, as you can see, that's actually a really good deal. And as we open it up here, we've got the original inner sleeve, almost like a cutout of photos kind of style one. And going inside, it is a first press, as you can see, and it's on the similar label as what a lot of the Black Sabbath stuff was, which is the yellow and orange Vertigo one. I can't say enough about this album. It's got some really good songs, like, of course, the title track, Holy Diver, and Rainbow in the Dark is one of my personal Dio favourites. If you're a metal fan and you do not have this in your collection, you're not a metal fan. I'm just kidding. Each their own, but when it comes to classic metal, this is one of the greats. Now, almost last but not least, we have Dio's Last in Line. This one, I love this one, to be honest. The title track, Last in Line, perfect Dio song. And then starting off with We Rock, what a great song. Dio is just one of those voices that if it's got a really cool heavy instrumental behind it, you can't get many better rock singers, in my opinion. Last in Line, again, another really cool cover. I mean, I think this early Dio stuff is some of the best metal covers that there is. This one, it says on the bottom, it says sample record, not for sale. And I'm not sure, it's not a promo or anything, I suppose. I suppose it was just out there as on show, perhaps, or let me know in the comments if you guys know what that sticker is for. Now this one, it's got the original inner there, as you can see. Really cool picture inner, and then going inside, we've got the spaceship label for Vertigo, and this one is actually not an English press, but a Dutch press. And again, on here, you've got the label saying it's sample record, not for sale. So if you guys know what that is, please let me know, because I'm really interested to know what that's about. This one was given to me by my granddad, Poppa Dave. I'm not actually sure when he gave me this one, but it was quite a long time ago, and he's not really a big fan of Dio or, you know, anything like that. He likes them, but he let me have this one, so I'm very thankful for that. And last but not least, the final album of the video is Sacred Heart by Dio. This came out in 1985, and to be honest, I don't know so much about it. I don't know if I've actually ever listened to it, so I can't give you anything on the music, but it's still not too far off in terms of age from the other Dio albums I've just shown you. It hasn't really got a great value either, so they either made a load of these or it wasn't that popular. Again, this was from Dave, so thank you very much. I know you're watching. He gave me this one sometime in mid-2022. If we open it up, it's got the original inner sleeve there and some pictures on that side. And then the vinyl, it's again on Vertigo, on the yellow and orange label with Dio's logo just below the Vertigo sign. So that concludes my video on my Black Sabbath collection and related albums. If you did enjoy this video, please do go down below, leave a like and subscribe. And while you're down there, click next to that subscribe button, click the bell, and you can turn on notifications so you never miss one of our next videos. What is your favourite Black Sabbath album? You already know some of mine, so let me know in the comments, what is your favourite Black Sabbath album? And are you missing any from your collection? just like me. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.